Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks as always for making your way here, checking out the series. Please do hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. I put out 3 new interviews every single week, so it's a great way to keep up with your favorite artists. I am so happy today. I've got Adam from the War on Drugs. Hello.
How's it going?
Going great, man. Congratulations. I don't live here anymore. You keep doing it over and over. I don't know how many times we can compliment you before it starts sounding, but you did it again. So congratulations.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
This is, you've become known, I guess, for so many things. One of those is this mood that you set on your albums, the music that you create. Did you have something in mind going into this? And did it end up where you thought it might? And I'm talking more about the sound and the music.
Yeah, it's interesting. Certain songs had a little bit more of an immediate identity. Like when I was working, like when I wrote it, it was like that song "I Don't Want to Wait." Like it just felt like a certain thing, and I think a lot of the recording of that was trying to bring that out and make sure we kept that kind of that mood going. But a lot of times you're just kind of. I mean, I was listening to the title track the other day, like the early version of it, and it doesn't sound anything. I mean, basically the same song, but it doesn't sound anything like where we ended up with it. And I think just always kind of following some sort of muse, really, but it's like just having fun with stuff, and like little bits of inspiration may pop up and a reference to this record you just heard on the way into the studio, and you just kind of pepper all these little things on your songs, like recording techniques you read about from another session or a classic sound, and you end up, 3 years later, you end up with this mishmash of, bits of inspiration and songs and sounds, and it feels like, oh yeah, this feels like the band, but only a few of them kind of had like an immediate kind of thing, like a color. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it was kind of just having fun and following our heart and following our inspiration and our love of music. And
yeah, well, you mentioned "I Don't Want to Wait," and I remember the first time I heard that, and I was listening in headphones the first time, and I think the thought that came to my mind was, "Fuck," because the sound of that. I think I read a little bit. It's a bit Radiohead inspired too. Is that true?
The vocal thing, yeah, we did all the processed vocals at the beginning in the first verse. I think Sean, we were at Sound City, and I just felt like that first verse, because we had all those keyboards that were kind of glitched out because of this strange mistake that happened with a computer program, but I kind of just ended up bracing it. And then it was just this very kind of alien beginning to a song. It felt like kind of very like something I never heard. And I mean, we're always like dubbing out vocals, but this was like, Sean, we should like do something, way more effective and have a lot of fun with it. And we just ran the vocals through 50 different pedals on each side, and it ended up sounding really cool. And we just kept processing, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, there's like, Radiohead's always a big influence. I mean, when you're making any sort of record, I feel like, we just grew up listening to them and as like a, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I think your reaction to that song is cool, because that's kind of the way, I think that's what I was hoping people would, it's definitely not like it's not like a breezy intro. It's kind of a little darker, a little bit more, a little stranger, which is what I was looking for.
Yeah. So is it coincidence, maybe a little kismet, that Nigel Godrich actually showed up to one of the studios that you were in? I mean, I know. Got to be a mind-blowing moment right there.
Yeah, because he was friends with our friend Mike. Because Mike was in this band, Here We Go Magic.
Love that band.
What's that?
Loved Here We Go Magic.
Oh yeah, exactly. And the record that Nigel did with them was a really great record. And Mike and Nigel just remained really close friends. And so he was in New York and stopped by Electric Lady, and we're all in the tracking room, and then he pops his head in, and he's just obviously the sweetest guy, and Sean is obviously a big Nigel fan too, and he was there, and everyone's trying to play it cool, like, "Oh yeah, what's up, bro?" But it's like everyone's like, "Holy shit," and but yeah, I mean, it's like little things like that. And that was the same day I think we were trying to do some tape loops, kind of inspired by a lot of the stuff they do. And yeah, it's cool how that stuff just comes in and out of the process. You meet people, even just anywhere you live. I mean, talking to other people in bands, other people that are making records, everything just influences everything else. No one's really creating music in this record in a true bubble. I mean,
Right. Well, on the lyrical side of this, you do find as you listen sort of themes emerging. I'll ask this first. How deliberate are you with your lyrics? And I only ask, sort of some folks are just like, I'm making sounds until they start to make words, and then I'll figure out what this means later. But there's a lot of poetry on here, but I wondered if a lot of these lyrics were really deliberate.
Yeah, I think so. Hi, Bruce. Hi, bud. A lot of times I'll start with some line that kind of brings me into the song. And I'll spend like a long time reworking stuff, because a lot of times I'll only have maybe 1/3 or 2/3 of the finished of the song. Like sometimes I'm just searching. It's kind of like that. Looking at a blank page for 2 years, like it's not always the easiest thing for me. So I think there's certain words, like there's certain lyrics that immediately step out, and then I try to like find my way through the rest. Certain songs, like Occasional Rain, like I have that line. It might have even been as simple as hearing it on the news. You're like watching, the news is on the background, you're strumming guitar, and the weatherman says Occasional Rain. You're like, oh, what a great name for a song. And then you kind of like, some things happen really quick. Like you might, like that one, the verse, I basically just played 4 chords and sang a melody. I was like, oh, there's the chord. Like each chord, I was just hitting the right chord each time, and it made a lot of sense. And then you just try to fill in the pieces, and other times things are a little bit less deliberate. Like you're really searching for, like you love the music, but you're kind of searching for a way into the song. Like what is this about? What's the context to the other songs? I don't always write like sitting on the couch with an acoustic or with the deliberate idea of like, I want to write about this specific thing. When I do like a writing session at night in my room, like you just kind of do a lot of free association, a couple chords, and you have like a melodic idea. And in that moment, a lot of cool things come out of your mouth that you couldn't really sit there and write. I always thought that was like a weird process. And then the more, as I grew up, I realized that a lot of people do that. A lot of people I respect as songwriters. And I was like, oh, cool. That's a valid way to arrive at something,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different for each song. And sometimes you're just like, whoa, like that, I don't know where that beamed down from, but I'll take it, And other times you're kind of just searching for something, like a different way into the song than what you already have.
What's interesting then, when you do start to hear certain words that arrive, escaping. There's a lot of escaping on this record. Seems to be a lot of running from, control, taking from. Like I said, it's just these words popping up, and where does that come from? Somewhere, sometimes nowhere. But as a fan, of course, you're a fan too. You're a fan of music. You listen to these songs in a way, and you can't help but wonder, like, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely. Yeah, I think that experience obviously flows into the music, and there's probably, going into making a record, I don't think I've ever been like, this is what I want to make this record about. But I think as time goes and you just kind of, in the thick of it, and in this, life around you keeps moving, and you try to make sense of it all through the song. So
yeah, well, it's fun hearing, like I said, so many moments throughout this record. I think I've got a favorite lyric I wrote down. It came from Change, which we've been playing on FPK a lot. The line where it's, maybe I was born too late for this lonely freedom fight. Maybe I was born in the wrong way. Maybe I was born in the wrong day. I haven't even tried to decipher that, but I just love the way it feels,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And of course, and you've got the first single, with the title track, I Don't Live Here Anymore. And we danced to Desolation Row. I'm a very big Dylan fan. I know you're a big Dylan fan. With the tour, does that give the opportunity to put that into a set? I mean, do you guys throw the covers in there as well?
Oh, interesting. I thought you were going to say, does it give me the opportunity to change the Dylan song each night? Yeah, we used to cover Tangled Up in Blue. We did it for a radio show in Minneapolis years ago, and then we kind of did it a bunch. We also did this Dylan song called Born in Time, which was the version I love is on that Telltale Signs release that came out maybe 8 or 9 years ago. But yeah, we've actually been talking lately about what the next cover is. The last cycle we were doing that Warren Zevon song, which made it onto our live record. But yeah, Dylan songs, lately, actually, my son, Bruce, he loves Blonde on Blonde. He loves that song, Absolutely Sweet Marie.
Absolutely.
He just points to the phone and says, Bobby. And then I put on Absolutely Sweet Marie. So I was like, well, maybe, and now I definitely know this song inside and out. So maybe we'll start jamming this one. Who knows?
Well, I'm, seeing you guys on tour is such a great thing. I know you guys have had to, because of the COVID restrictions, take the openers off. Although I've been in love with the latest Low Moon, and I know you guys are playing with them over in Europe. I'm really envious of that, because the mood both of you all set, that seems so perfect.
Yeah, that tour is going to be great. And I can't stress, it wasn't really something we were excited to do. It's just, our band is in a little bit of a different position than some other bands when it comes to COVID exposure. And so we just needed to do everything possible within our abilities to make sure that our people on our stage were as safe as possible. And it's just the way it is. But we're going to try and make it up to everyone in different ways. And yeah, we got that tour with Low Moon in Europe, and they're old friends of ours, and it's just, we were bummed, but we're excited that they're going to be on the next leg. So
yeah, I'll wrap up with a goofy, candid question. I was reading your interview with Carrie Russell and hearing about, when you hear about folks like that out in the crowd, and I'm sure that happens a lot. Do you get that moment though when you hear like there's somebody out in the crowd and it really does knock you back a little bit too much and like kind of freak you out? Does that ever get in your head like that?
I think that might have been the one that I was most excited about. I was like, oh wow, but I guess maybe if we were playing in London and someone was like, David Gilmore is sitting over there, I'd probably, which has happened actually. We did the Jules Holland show, and he was a non-musical guest, and he was basically sitting 3 feet from me when we were doing when we were doing Red Eyes, and I had like a Pink Floyd sticker on one of my pedals. So it's kind of, I wish there was a photo of that, but no, it's like, no, I think, sometimes if there is like something like that, you're kind of made aware of it. And then by the time you're in it on stage, you're forgetting,
right.
I'm just trying to remember all my songs, all my words, my chords, my pedal changes, my computer, my MPC changes, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, Adam, I really seriously love what you do. The whole band with I Don't Live Here Anymore. What a magnificent and beautiful record. Thank you for taking the time to talk about it. It's been fun.
Anytime. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
See you later. Bye.